Our next speaker is Brian Gibbs, who speaks for Americans for a Department of Peace. He works as a senior system analyst and is a devoted father of a delightful 14-year-old daughter. Brian Gibbs has been a passionate peace activist for the past 3 years and has traveled to Washington, D.C. to lobby legislators to sponsor the Department of Peace bill. The title of his speech is Departments of Peace in All Nations Benefit Global Human Rights. Please welcome Brian Gibbs.
Thank you, Gisela, for that wonderful, warm introduction. I'm delighted to be in the presence of kindred spirits and like-minded souls who share a passion for the fundamental right of all humans to determine their individual and collective destinies. Before we proceed further, let us continue to set the tone of this precious present moment by recognizing our common union as a human family on this miraculous life-producing planet that seemingly floats in an ocean of infinite loving space. Let us consciously conspire, breathe together to realize our unity with one and all. Now that we have experienced a few moments of atonement or at-one-ment, let us proceed to share in a communication that is intended to inspire us for a renewed vigor in transforming our lives so that we can be of greater service to our brothers and sisters who do not enjoy the freedoms we are so blessed with in these United States of America. The grassroots group that I belong to, the Americans for a Department of Peace, exists in a very similar spirit to that of the Human Rights Torch Relay grassroots group. That is, we do as much as we can to share and generate a field of consciousness for peace, goodwill, and to distribute information intended to achieve positive social change. Our mission statement is to advocate passage of the federal bill that is now in Congress to establish a cabinet-level Department of Peace. The bill is H.R. 808 in the House of Representatives. The bill has been in Congress since 2001 and was reintroduced in February 2007. We are currently seeking senators to introduce a corresponding bill into the Senate for its passage so that ultimately it can go to the President for their approval. This cabinet-level Department of Peace would have jurisdiction internationally and domestically. Abroad, it would provide the President with a full array of options for nonviolent conflict resolution and highly sophisticated peacemaking strategies for post-war stabilization, which are so sorely needed in places like Iraq. Here in the U.S., the Department of Peace would have jurisdiction to address areas such as drug and gang violence, prison reform, and domestic abuse. Government agencies addressing these problems are currently scattered amongst various departments, and they would be coordinated under one umbrella to increase efficiency and effectiveness. Patterned after the military academies, the Department of Peace would establish a Peace Academy where students would learn peaceful conflict resolution skills and after graduation would serve in peace-related postings here at home or abroad. The Americans for a Department of Peace is a San Diego-based group we are a local component of the nationally oriented Peace Alliance, which supports a grassroots volunteer network that is active in all 50 states. The vision of the Peace Alliance is to establish a future in which the practical programs and principles of peace building are the bedrock of our personal, national, and global interest and investment. The Peace Alliance works closely with a group called Peace Partnership International, which is a co-founder and active participant in the Global Alliance for Ministries and Departments of Peace. This global alliance is a worldwide community of individuals and organizations working to support and encourage the institutional expression of a culture of peace in governments around the world. So far, some 35 countries are in the Global Alliance community, over half of which have active campaigns to establish ministries or departments of peace. Others are in a planning or exploratory stage. Some countries, such as Nepal and the Solomon Islands, already have ministries of peace. We, the Americans for a Department of Peace, call upon China and all nations of the world to institute ministries or departments of peace to facilitate harmonious, productive, and fulfilling relations amongst the people of their countries. These ministries and departments of peace can also play crucial roles in creating an environment where positive and effective communications can occur between nations. We are at a critical juncture in world history, where a combination of factors such as ethnic cleansing, genocide, family-induced or famine-induced violence, religious and sectarian violence, and competition for material resources is putting a tremendous strain upon the capacity of our human family to cope successfully in a loving and wise fashion. As I informed myself about the human rights torch relay movement, my heart was broken and tears of sorrow streamed down my cheeks when I read of these crimes against humanity that had been perpetrated by individuals in China against their fellow countrymen and women. We, the Americans for a Department of Peace, call upon the Chinese leaders to diligently implement the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the United Nations in 1948. Its preamble acknowledges the importance of a human rights legal framework for maintaining international peace and security, stating that recognition of the inherent dignity and equal and inalienable rights of all individuals is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. When I saw pictures of some of the Falun Gong spiritual practitioners sitting in peaceful repose in a city square, thoughts came to my mind that these individuals represent the blossoming flowers of humanity, which should be nurtured and cared for, not oppressed and persecuted. My understanding is that these practitioners are developing their hearts and character according to the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. These qualities of being are a sublime incense that can inspire us all to develop our greatest human potential. In this day and age where tremendous mass destructive power is wielded by so many nations, we need a global transformation of our hearts and minds to counterbalance instinctual aggressive tendencies that may be latent and which, given certain conditions, can explode into violent battles or all-out war. Individuals such as the Falun Gong practitioners are performing a meaningful evolutionary role by creating what could be called a Buddha field, in which the combined mass effect of their transformation of personal consciousness can make it easier for others in society to rise to a higher level of being, such that harmonious and fulfilling relations are a natural and consistent self-expression. As I like to phrase it, since we live here in this marvelous San Diego coastal community, rising harbors raise all ships. We, the Americans for a Department of Peace, acknowledge and honor the peaceful efforts of the Human Rights Torch Relay Grassroots Group, and are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with them in raising awareness of the needs for recognition and acceptance of human rights for citizens in China, as well as for all citizens in all countries of this uniquely amazing world. Blessings to us all, and peace will prevail.